Hey all, Glenn Kushner here. Please enjoy this video on the Political Voices Network.
He has, by the way, a new conspiracy theory. It also involves Eric Adams because he tried to make Eric Adams' case about him when he was on Fox News. And he said his first assistant was raided on the very day he was going to the White House with two other mayors to complain about Biden. So I don't know if he's innocent or guilty. I can tell you he wouldn't have been prosecuted if he didn't criticize Biden. Oh, my God. They're still trying to make this case that the Biden DOJ is the one that's politicized.
Yeah. And Steph, I just testified at the Weaponization of Government Against Republicans Congressional Committee. Who has been prosecuted by the Department of Justice in recent months? Democrat Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat Representative Henry Cuellar, Democrat Hunter Biden, who is woof woof, Democrat Hunter Biden, who is the son of a Democrat president, and now Eric Adams. If DOJ is trying to weaponize against Republicans, they're doing a really lousy job because they're prosecuting a whole string of Democrats.
And by the way, since we brought up Hunter Biden, can I just say, is anything ever going to happen with this? The private equity firm run by Jared Kushner has been paid at least $112 million in fees since 2021 by Saudi Arabia and other foreign investors, even though as of July, it has not yet returned any profits to the government's largely bankrolling the firm. Senator Ron Wyden, as you know, asked why Affinity Partners has not distributed a penny of earnings back to clients, suggested perhaps it was all set up primarily as a way for foreign entities to pay the Kushners rather than a typical fund in which partners reap the returns of deployed capital. I mean, people ask this over and over again, this Saudi Arabia money.
I don't know. I can only hope DOJ is looking into it. And the reality is, Steph, if DOJ is investigating those kind of suspected crimes and the suspected crimes of members of Congress who asked for pardons because they knew they'd committed crimes on January 6th and they wanted to get away with those crimes. If DOJ is investigating them, we shouldn't and wouldn't necessarily know about it because investigations are secret. But boy, I'd sure like to see some indictments come, assuming the evidence supports them, because so many of these folks from the Trump administration have not been held accountable for what appear to be crimes. So, let's hope we see some of that.
So I wanted to talk about, we just obviously touched on the Jack Smith and this just ridiculous Supreme Court immunity ruling. So Mary McCord, who said the recent U.S. Supreme Court presidential immunity decision, she was talking about the impact it would have on Congress. She pointed specifically to the alarming abuses of official power that are made possible by the court's ruling and the neutering of Congress's ability to act. Could the president direct the FBI to engage in unlawful surveillance on Americans or to target individuals or groups based on race or religion? Let me jump ahead and answer that yes, which is what you were testifying about Project 2025, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because when Donald Trump tried to steal the 2020 election, he had to recruit corrupt DOJ officials to try to help him, right? Jeffrey Clark, who was a corrupt DOJ official, who is now an indicted RICO co-defendant and co-conspirator with Donald Trump down in Georgia. Remember when Donald Trump's executive branch officials said there was no fraud undermining the election's results? Yeah. And Donald Trump said, I don't care. Just say the election was corrupt and leave the rest up to me and my Republican allies in Congress. And Steph, that quote comes from a Donald Trump DOJ official. Well, guess what? Project 2025, if that's implemented, Donald Trump will not have to recruit corrupt DOJ officials because they would already be installed in the Department of Justice. So the conspiracy will already be formed. So he's right about one thing, Donald Trump. There will not be another vote if he is elected in November.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mitt Romney saying, I'm afraid he's going to target me and my grandkids or whatever. Well, first of all, then ask Kamala Harris what you can do to help and say very unequivocally you're voting for Kamala Harris, But secondly, like I said, Glenn, you won't need evidence or crimes in a second Trump administration.
Right.
Anyway, so let's just talk. We mentioned Eric Adams. So it was unsealed, right? The indictment, it's 5 criminal counts. He, according to the indictment, spent the last decade. Wow, this is way before this is when he was Brooklyn borough president, seeking and accepting improper valuable benefits such as luxury international travel, including from wealthy foreign business people, at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. Boy, this seems pretty damning, and it seems like the investigation's ongoing, right?
It is. And, feels like Eric Adams is done based on the evidence that I've seen. I want to quote my friend and fellow legal analyst Danny Savalas. We were talking about it. He was asked, is this the golden age of fraud with so much fraud in government? He said, I think it's actually the golden age of evidence. And the reason he said that was because we've got text messages and emails where Eric Adams, in his own words and communications, when he is asked by somebody who looks like they were in this criminal scheme with him, you're deleting everything that we're writing, yeah? And Eric Adams says, always. Boy, that one word, always, I'm deleting the incriminating evidence. He's done. He's done. And all that will be left, I think, is for him to negotiate a plea.
You know how I knew he was guilty? Because Bill Maher likes him. Okay. Because he's a different kind of Democrat, and he's not for masking and vaccine and everything. And then, hey, there's a picture of him having dinner with all Republicans the night he got elected. But again, as you keep saying over and over again, the fact that the Biden DOJ is prosecuting him should put to bed forever this whole politicization of the DOJ and all the other cases you mentioned. It's just infuriating. Okay, I got that out of my craw. Can I end on a happy clappy? North Dakota's abortion ban was officially repealed.
Yep.
Thank you, Judge Bruce Romanek. He said the law, as currently drafted, takes away a woman's fundamental rights to liberty, her fundamental right to pursue and abstain, has safety and happiness. The law also impermissibly infringes on the constitutional rights for victims of crimes. Oh, please.
Steph, yes, that is great. And that is one state. And the way to keep that freedom ball rolling is for all of us to get to the polls on November 5th and make sure we do away with all of these dangerous, disrespectful, disgusting abortion bans. I mean, revoking women's right to make their own reproductive health decisions is what the Republicans did. Oh, hell no. Let's get to the polls.
Yes.
I like it. Oh, hell no. All right. I have more sound bites of you that I'm going to use to sustain me for the rest of the show while you're gone. Well, election season is a sweet time of the year, right? As candidates coat their messages with lots of sugar to get your vote. Yeah, I said that. Now you can enjoy the sweetness of the election with authentic candidate cookies with the likeness of Kamala and Donald on your favorite butter cookie made by the famous deli in Chicago, Max and Benny's. You can purchase these once-in-a-lifetime cookies on the Stephanie Miller, Tom Harmon, and John Fugelsang websites. To order, go to our websites, click on the banner for cookie candidates, or go directly to their website, cookiecandidates.com.